Welcome back to the Aldo Sweet Road to the Show, here on MLB The Show 16. This is episode 12 of the series, and in today's episode, we are changing our position, as you can see on the screen. They think I'm They think I'm ready to be an everyday player in the majors, but in order to do that, I'm gonna have to switch to second base because they already have Lindor, and that's something I was already thinking about doing because, well, I've always known that the Lindor thing was a thing in my way, so I figured why not just do it. Switch to second base. Here we are, taking a walk check swing, but decide to call it a ball, and we end up taking our base on an 8-pitch at bat. So later on in the game, we come up 0 for 2, a walk and a run so far on the day. Up 6-4 here over the Syracuse Chiefs. It's a 1-2 count. As that one's taken right back up the middle past the diving glove of the shortstop for a base knock for Aldo Sweet. Picks up a single there on a 5-pitch at bat. And then that would do it for all that game. Ends up going extra innings, and we end up dropping the game to the Chiefs as Aldo goes 1-for-6. And now, spoiler alert, we pretty much ended AAA, where we ended the season in on a slump, a pretty big slump. So this episode is, there's games skipped in between, whatever. But here, we are not on a slump on this portion of the episode, as Aldo Sweet takes that one to deep left field. That's a no-doubt home run. Solo shot 427 feet. That is definitely a no-doubter, as Aldo goes 1 for 4 on that day, and we end up beating the Chiefs by a score of 4-3. Coming up here in a series against the Durham Bulls, up 3-0 here in the bottom half of the third, I believe that is. 3-2 count, nobody on, nobody out. Here comes the pitch, as Aldo's taking that one to right field. It's back, it's at the wall, and it's over the wall. Home run, Aldo Sweet. That's a solo shot yet again, plus 36 training points, 378 feet. Another shot for Aldo as he comes up later on in the game after hitting that home run. It's a 4-0 Columbus lead. As this time we're taking it out into center field, reach out and poke that one up the middle. As Sweet has himself a base knock in this game as well as a homer, so a multi-hit game. And we end up finishing that game 2 for 5. As 2 for 5, yes, and a home run and RBI. As Columbus ends up beating Durham by a score of 5-4. Here in a series against the Toledo Mud Hens, down 3-1 here in the bottom half of the fifth. 1-1 count. Here comes the pitch as Aldo's taking that one in the right center field. It's going to land in the gap. Runner from second scores with ease as Aldo heads into second base, standing up with an easy stand-up double. Picks up an RBI as well. And now comes up later on in the game here, 1 for 4 so far. Tied at 7, bottom half of the ninth. Nobody on, nobody out. 2-1 count to Aldo. Here comes the pitch. Some showtime opportunity. And Aldo Sweet. It's back. It's at the track. It's at the wall. It's out of here. Sweet like candy. It's gone. Aldo Sweet picks up a walk-off home run, as he's going to be mobbed at the plate here by his teammates. Walk-off home run for Aldo Sweet. Player of the game ends up picking up 2 hits and 5 at-bats, a run, a double, a home run, 2 RBI. And after that game, bam! Your contract has been purchased by AAA Columbus, from AAA Columbus by the Cleveland Indians, and we are heading to the Major Leagues.
Fun times in Cleveland today, Cleveland! Come on down to Cleveland town, everyone!
Here we are making our Major League debut in Cleveland at home in front of the hometown fans, chatting up Tito there while we're warming up, having a catch. And now here we are in our first Major League at-bat, bottom half of the second, nobody on, nobody out. Welcome to the big leagues, you're grounded out by Dallas Keuchel. That's a first Major League at-bat right there, solid contact. Ground out to Carlos Correa as Dallas Keuchel is the introduction to the big leagues that Aldo Sweet gets. So here playing second base, charging this ball, fire over to first and get the runner. And now, like I said, we finished this season on a pretty big slump. So a lot of these episodes, as you can see there, we had an extra inning thriller in our first career game, and we went hitless, 0 for 7. So a lot of these games are in between each other, and there's like a lot of series skipped or games skipped, because this entire month of September, we just really had a huge slump going on. So here, runners on the corners, showtime opportunity. Here comes the pitch. Aldo's still looking for his first career hit, as that one's taken to deep right field. It's just in front of the warning track, caught by George Springer, but the runner on third base is able to tag up and score with ease. as Aldo picks up his first RBI in the major leagues as he scores Michael Brantley, but he's not able to pick up a hit yet. So coming up later on in the game here, bottom half of the 8th, 6-5 Cleveland lead over Houston. Pat Neshek in the game. Here comes the pitch, and there it is! Aldo Sweet's first career hit. Up the middle, little dribbler single past the diving glove of Carlos Correa. Aldo Sweet finally has his first career Major League hit. And who else but Victor Martinez, the former Cleveland Indian great, who has returned to the Cleveland Indians because they decided it'd be a good idea to trade for a veteran when you're rebuilding. But he comes out and grabs the ball here to late in the game. It's a diving play by the third baseman, who's Juan Uribe, I believe. He flips it over to me, and we end up making a pretty solid double play, as there's a double play tandem for many years to come, hopefully. Francisco Lindor and Aldo Sweet being buddies at the end of the game as we win 7-6. Aldo goes 1 for 3 with his first career hit, and now coming up here in another game against the Houston Astros, 0 for 1 on the day so far with a pop-out back in the first here, bottom half of the third, 1 run on. Nobody out, 2-2 count. As Aldo's taken that one past the first baseman, he could not handle the hot shot, or like the little dribbler hot shot. Skips over his head, runner goes from first to third, as Aldo picks up a base hit and advances the runner. So it comes up later on in the game, 1 for 3 so far in the day with a single and a run here in the bottom half of the 7th, I believe that is. 6-5 Astros lead, 2 runners on, 2 outs. Here comes the first pitch of the AB, as Aldo's smoking that one to left field. He's a smoker. He's a toker. And he makes a base here. He picks up a base hit there, correction, as he goes 2 for 5 on the day with 2 singles. And Cleveland ends up coming out on top over Houston by a score of 7-6. Pick things up here on the road on a series against the Minnesota Twins, as Aldo comes to the plate wearing the road alternates with the blue tops. Facing Irvin Santana. His first EB of the game as Aldo takes that one into right field. Lands in front of, I'm not sure who's playing, I think that's Sano. I'm pretty sure it's Sano in right field. Lands in front of Sano for a base knock. And now comes up later on in the game here in the field. 2-1 Indians lead. Charge the ground ball. Sweet fires the first. And that's going to retire the runner. So now come up later in the game. 1 for 2 so far in the day with a single back in the first. We're here in the top half of the 5th. Cleveland up 2-1 over Minnesota. Irvin Santana still on the mound. Here comes the pitch, and Aldo's taking this one to deep left center. It's back, it's at the track, it's at the wall, and it lands just in front of the wall and hops up over the wall. That's a ground rule double for Aldo Sweet. He's 2 for 3 in the day with a double, a single. And now coming up for the 4th time this game at the top half of the 6th inning, I believe that is. 5-1 Cleveland lead. Here comes the pitch. And Aldo's taking this one opposite way. Will it land? It does! Sano gives it a dive, but he can't quite get it. So Aldo's turning on the Jets. Round second, heads into third, standing up with ease. Picks himself up a triple as he's told to hold up at third. And he ends this game with 3 hits, a single, a double, and a triple. He ends up going 3 for 5 as the Twins end up coming out on top, however, by a score of 7-6. So moving on to a series against the Chicago White Sox now. Top half of the first inning on the road here. Leading off this game, so second pitch of the ball game is going to be taken to deep right field. That's long gone. Sweet like candy. Aldo Sweet connects on his first career Major League home run. Aldo Sweet makes it a 1-0 Cleveland Indians lead to start off this game as he was hitting leadoff. And now we pick things up in the bottom half of the 6th here in the field. And this little flip to the shortstop, that's Brock Holt playing short as he fires over to first, turns a 4-6-3 double play. Maybe if your son was hitting for you, you'd be able to get it off the ground. So here we are later in the game, a charge from the third baseman and another turn by Aldo, as that's going to be a 5-4-3 double play. I don't know who that third baseman is, I'm not quite sure. But here we are later on in the game, bases loaded, top half of the 8th, nobody out. Like I said, bases loaded, 1-0 count. Here comes the pitch, a showtime opportunity. Will we pick up a grand slam? It's back. It's at the track. The runner gives chase, or the outfielder gives chase, and he runs into the wall as he catches it. Melky Cabrera with an insane catch there in left field. Robs Aldo Sweet of some big-time ribbies there. And he has to settle for a 1-for-3 day with a sac fly. And 2 RBI, a home run. White Sox end up winning this game by a score of 7-2. Here's another game against the White Sox here in the top half of the 9th, skipping straight to the later portion of this ball game, tied at 2. Runner on first. Here comes the pitch. Some showtime hitting from Aldo Sweet. He's taking this one to deep right field. It's back. It's at the track. It's at the wall. The outfielder gives chase, and it's gone. Aldo Sweet, 2-run shot. His second career home run. And his second home run here against the Chicago White Sox, 391 feet. He goes 1 for 4 on the day, and the Indians end up coming out on top by a score of 4-2 as Aldo Sweet connects with the go-ahead home run in the 9th inning. So here we are changing our stance a bit to veteran stance 54 as we hop into a series now against the defending World Series champion Kansas City Royals. So bottom half of the 3rd inning here at home. Runner on first, 1 out as we draw a walk. So Aldo's going to take his base, 6-pitch AB. He's going to trot on down the first base. So comes up later on in the game, 0 for 1 so far with a walk back in the 3rd. Or correction, 0 for 2 with a walk back in the 3rd, bottom half of the 7th. And they're going to intentionally walk Aldo Sweet, as he's going to take his base on the intentional walk. Comes up later on in the game. Cleveland up 5-1 over KC, bottom half of the 8th. 1 run on, 2 outs, 0-2 count to Aldo. Here comes the pitch, as Sweet's taking this one to deep right field. It's back, it's at the wall, it's over the wall. See ya! Aldo Sweet, 2-run shot, his 3rd home run of his Major League career, 355 feet. And he ends up giving 2 runs for the Indians there, and they end up coming out with a victory by a score of 7-1 over Kansas City. Aldo goes 1 for 3 in the day with a home run, a 2-run shot. And now we will pick things up later on in the next game against the Royals in the field here. A 6-4-3 jump throw to first base, double play. Lindor to Sweet. That's going to be a double play combo that hopefully is the key part of Cleveland's success in upcoming years. As Aldo comes up here in the plate, up 4-3 over the Royals. Here comes the pitch. As Sweet, you can kiss that one goodbye. It's out of here, into right field seats. That's a long gun. No doubt home run, bat flip and all from Aldo Sweet, 400-footer. As he connects on that solo shot, picks up his 4th career home run. As he goes 1 for 3 in the day with 2 runs, a home run and an RBI. Indians end up beating the Royals by a score of 5-3, and that's going to wrap things up here for this episode, as that's the end of the season. We're just going to skip ahead here. Like I said, we were slumping, so there was just a lot of 0 for 4 games, 0 for 5, 0 for 3, maybe a walk here and there. And just a lot of just terrible games to finish off this season. As you can see, in our 21 games in the major leagues, we had a 205 average, 4 home runs, 10 RBI, 11 runs, and 5 doubles. In AAA, however, we had a pretty good time in AAA, 110 games, 269 average, 11 home runs, 54 RBI, 30 doubles, 7 triples, and 50 runs. And we only played 8 games in AA after being called up to replace Jose Ramirez, who was replacing Corey Kluber when he got hurt. But for some reason, I guess we proved that we were good enough to play, so they decided to keep us around in AAA for the entire season. So that's going to wrap things up here for this episode 12 of the Aldo Sweet Road to the Show. As you can see, the Athletics beat the Cubs in the 2015 World Series because apparently the Athletics are good. And we get offered a 1-year contract to be a AAA bench, but we are the best overall second baseman in the roster, so I'm fairly confident that heading into camp, we're going to be able to, heading into spring training, we're going to be able to take that job for ourselves and be the starting second baseman for the Indians. So, with that being said, that wraps things up here. I've been your host, Jersey Born, and I'm saying goodbye.
Well, some of that